In a world not so different from our own, emotions weren't just feelings you kept inside. They were tangible, beautiful, and sometimes incredibly heavy. They were crystals, a fiery ruby for anger, a sunny citrine for joy, a deep sapphire for sadness. Every person was born with a full spectrum, a dazzling collection that made them who they were. Our story begins with Elara. Like everyone else, she had her own set of crystals, but Elara's most prominent gem was her sapphire, the crystal of sadness. It was a magnificent, stormy blue, shimmering with a depth that held every disappointment, every loss, every tear she had ever shed. It was heavy, yes, but it was also a part of her. It connected her to others, allowing her to feel their pain and offer comfort. It was the source of her empathy, her compassion, her very humanity. One morning, Elara woke up feeling light, too light. She reached for the small, velvet-lined box where she kept her most precious crystals. The citrine of joy was there, glowing warmly. The amethyst of peace pulsed gently, but the space where her magnificent sapphire should have been was empty. Her crystal of sadness was gone. At first, it felt like a blessing, a weight she didn't even realize she was carrying had been lifted. When a neighbor's beloved pet passed away, she felt nothing. When a close friend shared news of a heartbreaking loss, the words of comfort felt hollow, rehearsed. She saw their tears, she understood their pain on an intellectual level, but she couldn't feel it. The world, once vibrant with shared emotional color, was becoming flat and gray. She watched children scrape their knees and cry, but felt no pang of sympathy. She saw stories of struggle and injustice on the news, but her heart remained still. The absence of sadness wasn't just an absence of pain. It was an absence of connection. She was an island, isolated by an unnerving tranquility. Her joy felt shallow, her peace felt empty. Without sadness, her other emotions lacked their depth, their meaning. Joy wasn't as sweet without the memory of sorrow. Elara knew she had to find her lost crystal. It wasn't just a gem. It was a piece of her soul. Her journey began in her own town. She retraced her steps from the day before, asking shopkeepers and friends if they had seen a glimmer of deep blue. Everyone sympathized, their own sapphires glowing with shared concern, but no one had seen hers. Her quest took her beyond the familiar streets into the Whispering Woods, a place known for lost things. The trees were ancient, their leaves shimmering with forgotten memories. It was said that anything lost, whether an object or a feeling, might eventually find its way there. As she walked deeper into the woods, the air grew thick with a quiet melancholy. Faint glimmers of blue, green, and gray, the colors of sorrow, jealousy, and fear flickered. Between the trees like fireflies, these were echoes of emotions left behind by travelers over centuries. She followed the strongest trail of blue, a shimmering path that led her to a clearing. In the center, sitting on a moss-covered stone, was an old man with eyes as clear as glass. His own crystal box was open on his lap, but it contained only one gem, a brilliant, blindingly bright citrine of joy. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You've lost something," he said, his voice raspy. "My crystal of sadness," Elara replied, her voice devoid of the desperation she knew she should feel. "Have you seen it?" The old man, whose name was Kale, shook his head. "I haven't seen your crystal, but I know what you're going through. Long ago, I made a choice. I thought sadness was a burden, a weakness. So I came here and willingly gave my sapphire away to the woods, hoping to live a life of pure joy." He gestured to his glowing citrine, "And I did. I have felt nothing but happiness for 50 years, but it is a hollow happiness. I cannot mourn the friends I have lost. I cannot empathize with a crying child. I cannot truly appreciate the beauty of a sunrise because I have no memory of the darkness that came before it. In casting away my sorrow, I cast away a part of my humanity." His story struck a chord deep within Elara, a faint vibration in the place where her sapphire used to be. For the first time since losing it, she felt a flicker of something, a ghost of an emotion. It was the beginning of understanding. Sadness wasn't a flaw to be discarded. It was the anchor that gave weight and meaning to every other feeling. It was the thread that wove the tapestry of human experience together. Leaving Kale to his lonely joy, Elara continued her search, her purpose now clearer than ever. She wasn't just looking for a lost object. She was reclaiming a part of herself. Her journey led her to the highest peak of the Crying Mountains, a range perpetually slick with a mist born of collective sorrow. At the summit, she found a hidden cave, its entrance veiled by a waterfall of shimmering tears. Inside, the cave was filled with a soft blue light. And there, on a natural stone pedestal in the center, sat her crystal of sadness. It was even more radiant than she remembered, pulsing with a deep, powerful light. As she approached, she realized it wasn't alone. It was absorbing the faint, misty sorrows of the world, growing stronger and more profound as her fingers brushed against its cool surface. A lifetime of emotion flooded back into her. The pain of every scraped knee, every lost toy, every harsh word, every goodbye. It was overwhelming, a tidal wave of feeling. Tears streamed down her face, not just for her own sorrows, but for the sorrows of the world she now felt so keenly. She wept for Kale and his hollow joy, for her friends whose pain she had ignored, for every lonely heart in the world. But this time, the pain wasn't just a burden. It was a release. It was connection. It was beautiful. Mingled with the sorrow was a profound sense of relief and a deep, resonant joy that made her old happiness feel like a pale imitation. She was whole again. Elara placed the sapphire back in her box, its weight familiar and comforting. She returned from the mountains not as the girl who had lost her sadness, but as a woman who had found her humanity. She learned that to be truly human is not to avoid pain, but to embrace the full spectrum of emotion. For it is in the depths of our sorrow that we find our greatest capacity for love, our deepest compassion, and our most profound connection to one another. Her journey teaches us that every emotion has its purpose. Don't be afraid of your sadness. It is not your enemy. It is the teacher that shows you the true value of joy, the catalyst for empathy, and the proof that you have a heart that is beautifully, wonderfully, and completely alive. Thank you so much for joining me on this story. If it resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care.